And once again, let's try this one more time because I've already gone through a couple takes that I didn't like, so I'm doing this once again. This is the first time I've done a video before, so please try to bear with me and have some mercy. Have some mercy on my soul. This sucks. I know it sucks. I know it's terrible, but I'm just going to talk. I have some things I've wanted to say that I've wanted to get off my chest for a god awful long time now, and I'm going to do that. And one of the things that I want to talk about is Christmas and the holidays in general, including Thanksgiving that we just had 2 weeks ago. I don't like the holidays. I I hate the well, okay. I'm not gonna go that far and say I hate the holidays. I think that's extreme, but I'm tired of it being forced on us. I'm tired of it. It comes too damn fast. I'm almost 49 years old. I'll be 49 in a couple weeks. And it's like every year I snap my fingers and it's Christmas again. It's already Christmas time. We've already, you were inundated with all these damn announcements and commercials, and everybody's, at least in TV land, everybody's joyous. It's a joyous occasion. Well, it's not a joyous occasion for everyone. Not everyone has a reason to celebrate or wants to celebrate. At least if I were president of the United States, that's a stupid thing to say, but I would mandate that Christmas is once every 5 years. That's sufficient. We don't need any more than once every 5 years for Christmas. It comes too goddamn fast, and it's annoying. The commercials are annoying. I'm tired of seeing these commercials. I don't care about what Macy's is offering. I don't care about Kohl's is offering. I can go shopping there anytime I want if I really choose to do so, which I don't. I don't like shopping particularly. It's just tedious. Um, but I don't. Right after Halloween is done, we don't need to see Christmas commercials all of a sudden. I don't need to see Christmas themed movies. I don't need to see that shit. Honestly, it's tired. It's overdone. It's commercialized. You turn your TV on, and I'll give you an example. There's a commercial that's been playing for a number of years now, the past few years, and it's just so corny. It's everything is so idyllic in TV land. With the families are perfectly happy, and you got white snow everywhere and a perfectly decorated house. Everything's pristine, and you got the wife or the husband comes out and he whistles, and these cute little puppies run up, and the wife's like, "Oh, that's so cute. It's so," and she's, what women do when they see puppies. That kind of response that's irritating because I don't like dogs. I know that's odd, but that's another for another time. I'll talk about that maybe in another video why I don't like dogs. And then the wife whistles, and then this huge, Denali rolls up or whatever, one of those big trucks or SUVs, and the husband is overjoyed because she's either, I guess maybe she paid for it in cash, or she went behind his back and financed something that they couldn't afford, because that's the real world. A $50,000-$60,000 vehicle, that's not exactly something that you hide from your significant other if you're married. So I don't know. I think that some of us are just tired of the just it's just the fake portrayals of all these happy families that are buying these expensive vehicles, and they're happy, and there's no fighting, there's no drama. They're waking up to opening presents. There's just, it's not realistic. I don't think it's realistic for all of us. And I'll go into why I don't like Christmas from my personal experience. I mean, my parents are both gone, and I don't have the closest of families. Okay, my mother passed away from breast cancer 23 years ago, and quite honestly, she was the glue that kind of held the family together. She did all the cooking. She made Christmas special. So I'm not going to go into everything, but she unfortunately, she died of cancer, and that was a very tough pill for me to swallow. I was only 25 at the time, 23 years ago, so it's been a long time. Um, but still, that's not something that you get over ever, especially when you're very close to your mother, as I was. I was always I was kind of a mama's boy in a sense, and my mother was really the one who raised me since my dad was working all the time. But she made Christmas special, and she was the kind of the glue that kept the fabric together, so to speak. She did all the cooking, and I've never been a Christmas food person. I still to this day I don't particularly like Christmas food. I don't understand this idea that everyone expects to gain 15 or 20 pounds like that's normal. Like I'm going to gain so much weight this year. I never gain weight. I run year round 40, 50 miles a week. I eat the same thing pretty much every day. So I never have to worry about gaining weight. And when I have eaten Christmas dinner, I'm I'm pretty much bare bones. I eat the turkey. I don't even like the gravy. I just eat the dry turkey, and uh, maybe I might have a couple bites of mashed potato or something and green beans, which is really what I like. And that's what my mother always did for me. She would always make green beans because she knew that I wasn't a Christmas food person. I don't like yams that much, not the way that they're cooked for Christmas, anyways. I don't like cranberry sauce. Fruit salad's okay. It's healthy, so it's just fruit. So I can tolerate that, but I'm really not so much a person who likes to mix sweet with food for whatever reason, because I associate sweet with dessert. Uh, so fruit salad and turkey, that kind of mixed together. Suffice to say, I'm just not a Christmas food person. I'm not even so much a dessert person for Christmas. I if the only dessert that I would like is maybe chocolate pie, which they never have for Christmas. It's usually apple pie, which yeah, apple pie can be good, I guess. I'm not a pie person, unless there's chocolate in it. Let's just say that I'm not really that. Pecan pie can be pretty good as well. Um, and when my mother during Christmas, she would always make these things called sand tarts, which are just exquisite. They're wonderful. Nobody else made them, and they were made with pecans. Which my grandmother would pick pecans and she would shell them. She'd spend all day shelling these pecans and have these a freezer full of bags of shelled pecans, and she would give them to us. And so my mother used those pecans to make these sand tarts, which are just like I said, they're great. They're wonderful. And I wish I had the recipe because I might even attempt to make those myself. But I guess in the course of moving, I threw away a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, I think I might have accidentally discarded her recipe book. I couldn't take everything with me. And that was, moving is a big deal, and you're trying to declutter, and you finally get to a point where, man, I got to get rid of as much stuff as possible. And unfortunately, I think that might have gone by the wayside. But I again, I just don't like. After my mother passed away, which was 2001, I mean, things drastically changed. Of course, my dad was still alive, so I spent Christmas, uh, for the sake of him. I celebrated Christmas, and we would go to Mexico City to be with. I would go to Mexico City to be with him every Christmas. That's where my dad's from. But I never particularly. It was just to be with him. That's the only reason I would go. Just to make him happy and to be with him. But I didn't like Christmas. And one of the things that I really disdained and really loathed and didn't look forward to was just the looks I got from family members, from aunts, and just everybody else, because I've never gotten married. And, I've had some unfortunate situations with past relationships, and so I never settled down. I've never really had a long-term relationship. And so I never had anyone, a significant other, to bring to the festivities, right? And so everybody kind of gives you that weird look. They treat you different and you feel it. You just get this gut feeling, the way they're looking. You're like, kind of like if you think about Pulp Fiction, when John Travolta says, I feel that look you're giving. I don't know if you know what I'm referencing, but there's that scene where he says, I feel your look, but that's kind of the way I felt. And it's like, even like one of my aunts was kind of trying to lecture me on, giving me this kind of sorrowful look, like she felt sorry for me or something because I'm not married yet, and at one of the last Christmases that I went, and there's a kind of an air of condescension that I just can't stand from people like that. Even your own family members. Just accept people for who the fuck they are. You don't have to sit there and give them this sorrowful look like you feel sorry for them. People have their circumstances and are, for whatever reason, are in the situation that they're in. Just accept it. As long as they're not on drugs and committing crimes and, alcoholics, you should be happy for them, right? That they're healthy, that they're not, doing bad things. I mean, that's something that you should be happy about, not whether or not they're married or not. I mean, some people just go through life and never find that person. They don't find that person that they're meant to be with for the rest of their lives. And God bless the people who do. If you're able to find that person and be with them 20, 30, 40, 50 years, some of these people who've been together for half a century, God bless those people. That's great. I mean, that's the ultimate friendship, that goes well beyond all the superficial stuff that you care about when you're young, right? And it fades away, unfortunately, and is the cause for a lot of divorces nowadays. Just be happy for those people, and not, you don't have to be judgmental, but that's what you deal with family. You deal with unnecessary drama and these are people that you don't even see, most of the year or ever, except maybe Christmas when you do finally see them. And then they got to give you this kind of attitude. And it's not always just a blatant, anything that they say to your face or anything. You just feel it. It's an intuitive feeling. Like you feel that look, like just like I referenced from Pulp Fiction. I feel your look. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest, and I think, the last Christmas that I spent with my dad was 2019, and then COVID happened, and I was set to go for Christmas and be with my dad in 2020 for Christmas of 2020 December, but things were kind of haywire back then, and there was a lot of people getting sick, even there in Mexico. And so my dad was telling me, oh, please don't come. He was telling me not to come. And I also think that because I didn't get vaccinated, I think maybe some of the, he didn't care if I was vaccinated or not, but I think maybe some of the other people there cared that I wasn't vaccinated, because people were brainwashed that the vaccine's really going to, this is going to cure everything, right? Which, yeah, how did that work out? People getting triple, double, triple, quadruple vaxxed. We all see how that came about, right? That didn't do shit. That didn't do diddly squat. So yeah, but at that time he was like, yeah, don't come, and not because I don't want you to come. He was telling me, please, he missed me a lot because I hadn't seen him in a long time. But then unfortunately, had I known that he was going to pass away in 2021, that, the next summer, of course I would have, hell or high water, I would have gone ahead and gone, regardless of what the dangers, which there really weren't. It's a glorified flu. It's a, really is what it was. But I'll try to stay away from the politics of all that stuff. But um, yeah, unfortunately, then he passed away the next summer, and that's just a. I have no reason to celebrate Christmas now. I have absolutely no reason because really, in my mind, my real family was my mom and my dad because I grew up an only child between my parents. I didn't have a lot of extended family. Both of my parents, well, my dad was already 45 when he married my mother. Okay, so he had already been married before and had kids from a previous marriage. My half sisters and my half brother, who are all 10 to the oldest one is 18 years older than I am. Actually, because I found out later when I was 30 that I actually also have another brother, another half brother. The oldest is 21 years older than me. So my dad started pretty young and had a lot of kids. But I didn't grow up with them. I grew up an only child. So I didn't, and we grew up in different countries. So I grew up mostly in the United States, even though I was born in Mexico City. I primarily was in Dallas my entire life until I moved out here. I moved out to El Paso now a couple of years ago. I've been in El Paso for almost 2 years now, um, which is a kind of a midlife crisis move. I needed to get out of Dallas and sell my house and property taxes. And I'll get into that on another video because I have a lot to say on property taxes and the bullshit that is the property tax system in Texas and Dallas in particular with the crime and I could go off on another tangent on that, but um, yeah. So I'm trying to think what was I'm forgetting what I was talking about. Yeah. So Christmas is not high on my list, and unfortunately, after my like I said, my parents were my true family. And when I look back and when we were all together, just the three of us, mainly for Christmas, and that was what was special to me growing up, and so I just have no desire because one of my siblings wanted me to come celebrate Thanksgiving recently, and I said no. I don't want to do it. And I even told her flat out, I said, look, I'm 49 now almost, and I don't have to do anything I don't want to do anymore, and I'm not going to. And maybe one day that'll change. Maybe if I find a significant other or somebody that makes me happy, that gives me a reason to want to celebrate something, then maybe I'll celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving. But until then, I just have no desire to do it, and I don't appreciate or understand this societal pressure that we have with all the advertising and everything, because there are a lot of people that and I cope pretty well. I have good coping mechanisms in place. I think running has saved my life. I'm a long distance runner, not competitively, but I've run since I ran all 4 years in cross country in high school and track, and I got hooked on it. And I also lifted weights and did some bodybuilding in college. And exercise has been the one thing that has saved my life in many ways, because I've felt sadness and depression and a lot of other things in my life growing up. Uh, and so I have good coping mechanisms. So I'm not one of these people that's just in an extreme amount of pain, but it does make me sad, that I don't have my parents, because that was the reason for me to celebrate Christmas. That was the reason for me to be with my parents. And if my mom was alive, if my parents were alive, and I would be so overjoyed to just spend all day helping my mom cook. I think that's something that I would definitely do now if my mom were alive. I would be with her in the kitchen, probably pestering her like I did when I was a kid, because I would kind of give her a hard time and bother her. But that was the joy of it for me, of being with her, and uh, with my quirky sense of humor, and she would laugh at things that I said, and even then when I was a kid, so that's my rant. I don't want to celebrate Christmas. I have no intention of celebrating Christmas. It's nothing personal against anyone, any family members who um, have invited me to celebrate Thanksgiving or even Christmas. I don't feel it. I don't want to do it. And that's that. So if I do publish this video, which I don't know if I will put it on YouTube, if anybody wants to comment or share their opinion on how they feel about Christmas, I'd be happy to read it. And I think that's all I have to say for right now. I have other things that I want to talk about, but I'll do that in some other videos. So that's it for today.